Hello my beautiful Taurians, welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with a little bonus reading all about you. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about to pretend to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using guide chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. So let us start your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Taurians, this is a little bonus reading all about you. Us tarot readers, we tend to focus on career, money, love, but we never ask how are you doing. So this reading is going to tap into what you're moving through at this moment in time and of course what lies on the other side. Now this reading, it tends to be quite specific. Please do not force it or try to make it fit if it is not fitting there for you. So please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. So let's get straight to your reading. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Taurians where they need to be aware of at this moment in time? Can you please highlight to them what is their foundation card of what they are moving through at this moment in time? You have the Eight of Swords. Okay, so some of you feel like you are a little bit stuck in a rut. Okay, I feel there's an energy of feeling like you're in the same place. You may have felt that things have been a little bit of Groundhog Day with circumstances or people, perhaps. You may feel like you're going round and round in circles with certain conversations, or you may feel like, how is it going to be different? How is 2026 going to be different at all? The Eight of Swords can indicate that you feel like you've reached your limit with some people, or you're exhausted. You have so much on your mind right now. And 8 is a number of the self. So you're doing a lot of thinking about yourself and trying to kind of limit any distractions. You're trying to get clear on your next steps and really focus on any restrictions in your life so you can set yourself free. You know, the Eight of Swords can be an acknowledgement that you've had some intrusive thoughts recently and you've been extra critical upon yourself, and that perhaps you need to really look at those thoughts and, you know, be concerned about how you talk to yourself as well. The crossing position is the Four of Pentacles, and that is a foundation card. So it can indicate that a lot of you are focused on your stability, your home life, your finances, your family, and basically you're looking at what you've been holding on to so that you can set yourself free, basically. So this could be emotional release for a lot of you, but also because the Four of Pentacles can be about the body as well. So you may be looking more into your mental well-being, your mental health at this time, and that's just to find peace, okay? I'm not saying that you are going to a therapist or anything like that, but it can be that you just want a little bit more quiet time. The world seems to move the goalposts all the time, and you may feel that you've been under a lot of pressure there. We have the Eight of Cups. I mean, a lot of you are like, I'm so done with 2025. It can indicate that you are exhausted and you've just found yourself walking away and evolving from a lot of situations right now. This is your earthly bound position card. So the Eight of Cups is like, there's a missing ingredient. You're searching for something new right now. And a lot of you just want more freedom, or you want to maybe not change direction per se, but whoever is, you know, getting an Eight of Cups energy, it means you're doing a lot of soul searching right now. Like, is this it? Is there something more? You know, a lot of you are like, what are my plans? What am I reaching for? 8, as I mentioned there, is all about the self, okay? So you're doing a lot of thinking time to really review who you are and what you want. We have the 5 of Wands in the past position. It's kind of where you want it to be. So a lot of you are removing drama from your life, dramatic situations, other people's drama in particular. But I really feel like you've been going through a bit of a gear shift this year, and it has been hard. And it made you kind of mature to a position where you may have withdrawn from a lot of circumstances, and you're moving on from things that don't bring you joy or don't feel fulfilling anymore. And I feel like you're owning your time. We have the 9 of Swords as a presiding energy. Really interesting. You are an opposing sign to Scorpio, of course, and you know that, of course, there. And they also had a 9 of Swords. This year has been mentally very taxing upon you. You have so many things on your mind. Sometimes both signs, opposing signs, can affect the energy. Doesn't mean you're connected to a Scorpio. Doesn't mean you have placements in your chart in the same way. It can indicate that opposing signs at the very core where they meet, they have had a very similar experience. And that 9 of Swords indicates that mentally you're a very strong person, but you may have reached some breaking points at some point. I mean, some of you may be completely bewildered at the world at large right now and be like, did I fall asleep and then wake up in a brand new world where I feel somehow abandoned or ostracized, or I don't fit in? Because the 8 of Cups is giving that right now. 8 of Cups is like, I don't fit here. I don't fit in this place right now. And you're going soul searching to see where you feel like you belong. And some of you may feel like you've outgrown a lot of things in your life this year. Remember, this is the year of the snake. That was the purpose of this year. It is a transition year. It is the gear shift year. It means there's a lot of shedding, whether that's people, situations, challenges in general, whether it is outdated mindsets, whether it is, some sort of mental restriction. Sometimes we feel the fear and do it anyway, but you may be looking at anything that's been holding you back this year or made you feel trapped, because the 8 of Swords can feel like you are stuck in a position and you're really thinking about how to make it a little bit more interesting. And with that 8 of Cups there, you may feel very solitary. Doesn't mean you don't have soul tribe members and friends and people who really get you and see you, but it can indicate that right now you feel like you need to do a little bit of wandering and soul searching to rediscover yourself in some way and rediscover like a brand new world, as it were. A lot of you are looking at your choices there. You've got double 2, so you've got 2 of Pentacles, 2 of Cups. Now, of course, the 2 of Cups is an energy of manifestation, manifesting things that you would love to come into your life that share the frequency at the very core of you. For some of you, this could be love, it could be friendship, it could be understanding, to truly be seen. It could also be that you want more celebratory times. You want something to celebrate. You may feel like you've been on autopilot, just getting on by, that life has been pretty serious and you've just had to get up and focus on your commitments. And you're like, what else? What is that missing ingredient? So I really feel as you take things into 2026, you're searching for that missing ingredient and you're certainly going to find it. We also have the King of Pentacles there. You're showing up in your own reading. A lot of you trying to discover yourself, come home to self, focus on your needs from a healthy place. Put yourself first, maybe a little bit, or not neglect your own needs or abandon yourself to make others feel comfortable. I feel a lot of you definitely coming home to self, valuing yourself in a different way. We've got the Hierophant. You've done a lot of learning, okay? And I also feel a lot of you are looking at your belief system, reaffirming your belief, your traditions, for example. Some of you may have felt that life got really challenging and you've just done a lot of questioning about yourself and who belongs in your life, who gets access to you, because I feel like you've outgrown a lot of things that perhaps have made you feel a little bit conflicted at times. The 5 of Wands often has 5 people on there with 5 wands, and there's a lot of like interference. Everybody's got their opinion on how you should be leading your life or what you should be doing. And while sometimes that can show up as nice advice, maybe even advice you didn't ask for, but sometimes to brainstorm with people, it's kind of cool so you can get a measure of your choices and your decisions and where you want to take things to next. But you may have felt there was some unwanted kind of influence or some sort of interference there. A lot of you could also be sitting on the fence of a decision right now, but I feel like you made the right decision. I want you to be aware of that. But clearly, whoever I'm reading for right now, this could be to do with a very close relationship. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be a relationship with friends, a friend in particular, family member, a boss, because we do have that Two of Cups, which is your advice to yourself in this moment. Lean into the people who are there for you, who notice you and really see you and try to understand. I mean, everyone's going through something, but you are all about people who factor you in right now. And we've got this King of Pentacles, circumstances outside of yourself. Okay, and we've got the Queen of Pentacles there as well. I mean, I would say if you are currently looking for a high-level commitment with a soulmate, I would say you're manifesting that right now. You're on a frequency timeline to attract the love of your life, okay? But this reading is more about you. It's about what you're going through. So if you have been having some challenges with a person, maybe there's been a lot on your mind. Nine of Swords is an energy of feeling a little bit bereft or bewildered, or there's a little bit of worry there. Maybe even something that has made you have sleepless nights, something that's really on your mind. And this could even be like being haunted by something from your past about, you know, a relationship dynamic you had in the past. Maybe you're going over old ground just before bed and thinking about the woulda, coulda, shouldas. I feel like you're like closing out a lot of cycles in order to set yourself free from something. But most importantly, I feel this is about you valuing yourself and looking at intrusive thoughts and how you talk to yourself as well, because you tend to be a little bit critical on yourself, and you need to be aware that you are a gift. You know, you have a lot of value in the relationships that you form. And if you're looking for your soul tribe, I feel there's a gathering or togetherness in your future with people who really align with you. For some of you, this could also be that, you know, if you've been estranged from someone in your family, it can indicate there's a bit of a head-to-head in your future where two people come to an understanding, shall we say, where there is some new knowledge that gets kind of communicated within this dynamic so that you can both see each other in a different light, and there can be an olive branch in your future. It's not going to be easy. I'm not going to lie to you. There could be some very challenging, raw conversations there, but the potential to heal this, whatever this rift is for some of you, I feel there's definitely a togetherness in your future. I mean, I feel like you may have tried to repair this many, many times, whatever this is. So it could be a relationship with a parent, a guardian, or a sibling, or a neighbor, or, you know, someone close to you, a partner. So please take it as it resonates, because I feel a lot of you, you know, you're looking at relationships at this time or connections with people. But I also feel this is about your commitment to yourself. Okay, so let's get to the very foundation card. I mean, I didn't choose the cards for you, my beautiful Taurians, so this may not resonate with everyone, of course, but I have to honor what's come out. The very foundation is the Eight of Swords. In some area of your life, you feel that things have been really challenging and you feel a little bit stuck in a rut there. And, you know, you've got the Eight of Swords and the Nine of Swords. There's some concern about something in your life, okay? Or you feel mentally fatigued about something. It can be that life is just very challenging right now and you had to show up every single day exhausted, you know, completely depleted of your resources, your energy. You have a lot on your mind there and you just feel it's been hard. You know, the Eight of Swords energy can indicate that you've been dealing with a difficult situation, and perhaps you even feel like you're in the middle of something with two people. You may feel like your hands are tied sometimes, or you're restricted in some way in really getting involved, but you feel completely drained by this, or it's been on your mind. So if two people that you know who are close to you have been like fighting or separating, it can be that sometimes you feel like you're in the middle of it all and you just don't want to be in that. You want to remove yourself from that energy. But For this reading, my energy keeps being pulled outside of your energy, so I feel a lot of your focus is on other people all the time, and it's time for you to refocus and bring it inwards and really think about yourself, okay? And not in a selfish way. I feel like you've neglected your own needs perhaps, and I feel a lot of you are just exhausted, and you feel like no matter what you do, it's never enough sometimes, and that can be that you're dealing with people who sometimes, no matter what you do for another person, it feels like it's never enough or you fall short somehow. But remember, your happiness is not tied up in another, and you're not responsible for someone else's happiness either. They should find that within themselves, and then you can co-align and exist in harmony with your internal happiness, okay? Because happiness is within. And of course, there's things outside of ourselves that can make us happy as well, but you know, the core of happiness, contentment is within. And the Eight of Swords, a lot of you are going inwards right now. You're doing a lot of soul searching, a lot of thinking, and trying to find stillness in a very busy world that perhaps is asking a lot of you right now, and it just feels like a bit of a struggle. No matter what you do, you may feel like somehow you're still in the same place or having the same conversations or arguments with people, and you're just like, enough already, okay? It may have even made you want to just walk away or just like abandon a situation. You're like, oh, here we are again. I can't deal with this, okay? So I am getting this kind of headache energy that you may be dealing with a person where it's like round and round in circles, okay? But also the Eight of Swords can be worry. So some of you may be worried about, you know, your stability, or you could be worried about something in your home life right now, because the Four of Pentacles can be about home life, can be a dynamic, as I said, within a relationship, but also it can be the world. It can be that, you know, you feel that you're stuck in a certain situation right now, and normally the Eight of Swords means a self-imposed restriction. You feel isolated in some way, or somehow that you don't fit in because everything has changed, but also at the core of you, you have changed, but it feels like a brand new world, or something is different, something is off, okay? Because that Four of Pentacles, it's in the resistance position, and when it's in the resistance position in a Celtic cross, it means you read the reverse of this card as well. So it can indicate that you've been separating almost from your old life, as it were, and now you're trying to rediscover the new you, okay? Sometimes things get broken apart. We all have an ego death, or we have some sort of transformation going on. And remember, this is the year of the snake, where everything is transforming and shedding. So this can indicate now you are put back together in a different way, and things that you once found joy in or once challenged you in an exciting way, you may feel like you've lost that spark for it, or it just feels like, well, what is the point? But you will rediscover that spark. I feel a lot of you are coming home to yourself at this time. But for some of you, there's a decision about your home space or in and around your home space. So it could be that you want to move to a new neighborhood, or it could be that perhaps, you know, you're a parent and a child is about to flee the nest, and you're worried about their journey. And of course, they're always going to check in with you, and I feel like they're really well-rounded and balanced, and they're going to make some great decisions because you guided them that way. We all have independence, of course, but you did your absolute best with the circumstances that you've got. So, you know, it's about that release, because the Eight of Swords is also to release yourself from some sort of restriction or worry, okay? And no matter your circumstances, because I'm going to bring it back to your energy, I feel with that Four of Pentacles, this is about taking ownership of your life, because you may feel stuck in a certain routine or some sort of situation where you just feel like you can't see how it's ever going to change. Now, what's important on the Eight of Swords, you know, the swords are all pointed down. The figure is bound to the spot, but the swords are protective. Sometimes life gets really quiet, sometimes dull and boring. It's in order for you to take stock of things, to really go inwards for answers and pause, relax, take a breath and recharge, okay? Easier said than done when you've got so much going on right now. Four of Pentacles, a lot of you, especially if you're looking at the world at large and how things are transforming and changing, you may feel a little bit nervous about, you know, where you live or your safety or the safety of the world, for example. Or you may feel, you know, should you stay in your home? Should you go? Should you move somewhere else? These could be just valid questions that you are asking right now. And of course, not everyone is asking those questions, but I have to make you aware that the Eight of Swords is to have something major on your mind that is making you feel a bit stuck in a rut, or making you feel drained. It's difficult. And the Four of Pentacles is about the home space. It's about security. It's about a foundation of trust. It's also an energy of like holding on to something that keeps you stuck in a rut. So if you keep revisiting like a conversation or a situation from your past, you're clinging on to something that was really challenging. It can be that, you haven't fully processed it yet, and that shortly, you will have a breakthrough in order to be released from this situation. Okay. I also feel a lot of you in your reassessment period, because the Eight of Swords is a reassessment period, you may be looking at times where you have given away your power, or you felt underestimated, or you felt undervalued in some way, and it wasn't fair. Something wasn't fair here for you, and you're trying to work through it in your mind. A lot of you, though, the major presiding energy with that Nine of Swords is intrusive thoughts, because that Eight of Swords can be something that you think, whether it's moments of doubt, moments of fear, or even worry. I mean, fear will rob you of joy. I always say this: if there is something you can do about your circumstances, do it. Set those changes in motion. If there is something that you're worried about, but you cannot change those circumstances, let the universe take care of it. What will be, will be. And I feel do everything you can in your circumstances, but looking at your energy, your outcome is the Queen of Pentacles, to be secure. Also, if you're worried about finances, because that Four of Pentacles is there, I feel a lot of you have talents and gifts that you haven't tapped into fully, that you could make money out of. But in your future, this is a card of wealth. It's a card of comfort. It's also about multiplying finances. So you will find a way, and the universe will offer you opportunities to attract more wealth or more money to help you feel secure financially in your circumstances, okay? So I just want you to be aware of that. Now, your earthbound position, we have the Eight of Cups. So this can indicate that you're so grateful for all that you have right now, but you are aware of some things that perhaps you don't have, and you're in search for whatever that is. Now, I feel a lot of you have dealt with challenge and rejection over the last couple of years, or maybe even on your journey. And with this Eight of Cups energy, it means you're doing a lot of soul searching and letting go of those experiences, because what is meant for you will never pass you by. You've got the strength and the courage. And that's why you've got that beautiful lion there roaring. You've got the strength and the courage to walk away from situations that don't resonate with you anymore, or situations that are not working for you anymore. This is you withdrawing and taking stock of where you feel like you are right now in order to get a new perspective. And I always say, whoever walks away on the Eight of Cups walks straight into the Nine of Cups, which is fulfillment. It is also wishes coming true, but also a sense of fulfillment, like you did a good job, being really proud of yourself. But this Eight of Cups is an energy of you really hoping that next year is going to be so much better than this one, because the Eight of Cups can indicate that either you dealt with loss or you felt very isolated. A lot of you are outgrowing a part of yourself, and sometimes going through an awakening or a spiritual path can make you feel very lonely. You have to kind of isolate yourself first to work out what it is that's the missing ingredient as you start to outgrow your past self or seek more in life. This is a card that highlights all that glitters is not gold. You see beyond the surface. You are someone who sees things that perhaps other people can't see, and you're in search of something real in this world right now. Not fakeness, not, all this kind of surface level kind of bluster. I feel like you're looking for real connections with real people, real friendships, real dialogues, kind of real circumstances where people remember their core self and come back to a grounded foundation. A lot of you are trying to find that within yourself. So, if you have the finances, for some of you, a lot of you may have really toyed with the idea of going on a spiritual retreat. I know it sounds very cliche to go on a spiritual retreat to find oneself, but it can be that you needed some quiet time. For some of you, it can be that you're learning to walk away more when you feel a little bit overwhelmed with intrusive thoughts, getting out into nature, really finding an affinity. It's really interesting because just before I started your reading, I prepared the space as I usually do, and the traffic just got so loud here. I was like, oh my gosh, we cannot hear the very whisperings of our heart. anymore because of the loud motors that are going past. Now, don't get me wrong, if you want to go to a racetrack to hear all that, revving of engines, I'm sure lots of people find it really exciting out there, but my gosh, it was super loud. I mean, it's completely calmed down right now, but I wasn't even aware that perhaps this was informing the vibrancy of your energy right now to feel like things have just got overwhelming or loud, or maybe even thoughts have got really loud, and you're trying to, quieten the noise in some way in order to really come back to your center and find something real, because what is real is within you. And 8 indicates that you are focused on yourself, you're reclaiming your power, but you're in search of that missing ingredient. So a lot of you are focused on your direction at this time. And of course you have goals and dreams, but some of you may want to wander a little bit more and see what else that life has to offer, so that things can be a little bit more fizzy or exciting or impromptu, okay? But I definitely see a lot of deep cerebral thinking right now and soul searching. Yes, you're very practical, and yes, you have a lot of responsibility. You have 2 very responsible cards there, Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. Now, of course, King of Pentacles is a Taurian card, but it can indicate that you have had a lot of duty or responsibility, and you've been showing up for yourself every single day. And you've been very practical, but this is you being in search of something more. Almost like, yes, you need money to pay the bills, but there's got to be more to life than just working and paying the bills, okay? Or more to life than just money. So I feel a lot of you are looking for something more, something tangible, something real, and you may be brainstorming ways to find that in 2026, or find a pathway to open up opportunities to meet like-minded individuals or find deeper connections, okay? Because I feel a lot of you are focused on your commitments and your connections right now. In the past position, we have the 5 of Wands. You've been under a lot of pressure. 5 of Wands is stress. It can also be interference. It can indicate that, whilst you're trying to listen to your inner compass, it can be that life just got really busy and loud, but also it can be that everyone has an opinion on how you should be living your life, but the 8 of Cups is like, no, this is how I want to live my life. This is a conscious choice to do something that perhaps other people are not doing, or a conscious choice to, go your own way, as it were, because you're not here to be ruled. This is your life. You are finding the path or discovering the way by yourself. The 8 of Cups, this person on the 8 of Cups, they never know where they're going to. They're discovering the way as it unfolds. You're putting one foot in front of the other right now, but also if you're thinking about the future, it can be that it yields a lot of worry, or you have a bit of anxiety there that you're trying to look at so that it doesn't raise cortisol levels, because the 5 of Wands, whatever it is you're doing, it indicates you're halfway there. You're so close to whatever it is you want to accomplish. But the 5 of Wands can indicate that you've gone through a major gear shift. There's been a lot of drama. It felt really clunky, but things are going to come together as planned, okay? And, when you have the 5 of Wands, it can indicate that you're also trying to look at what you have to offer in the world, how you stand out in some way, or you want to make your journey more unique. Not because you're like, oh, yay, look at me. It's like you have very rich experiences in life, and you may feel that somehow your wings got clipped or things got cut short in some way, and suddenly everything changed, because it feels very sudden with that 8 of Swords. It's like, now I'm here, and now I just feel stuck in this, and how is it ever going to change? But it is going to change, absolutely. I feel it changes with a mindset first. Don't shoot the messenger when I say this. I feel like you're on the precipice of that. That's why you're going inwards for answers. You want to do something different, something bold, something daring. And it means coming out of your comfort zone. It means being more explorative. And of course, this could start with really like mundane things, like exploring a cafe across town that's just opened. That's something new. Taking a new kind of route to wherever you walk to, like to work, or to a community center, or to the shops, whatever it is, to the mall. It doesn't matter. I feel like you just want to shake things up a little bit. And that 9 of Swords means that you are kind of like pushing yourself out of a comfort zone, or you're trying to reframe life or retrain your thoughts in some way, okay? The 9 of Swords can also indicate that you've gone through something very, very challenging, that other people, it would curl their toes, but you're still standing, okay? And I feel a lot of you are learning when to walk away from something to protect your inner peace. And perhaps with that Four of Pentacles, you've experienced things in your past where you held on too long to people, or tried to fix things, or gave people too many benefits of the doubt before you decided, actually enough, I'm drawing a line in the sand. This year, I definitely feel like you learned to walk away a lot quicker and say, you know what, I'm tired. I'm tired of this cycle repeat. You know, nothing ever changes unless someone changes. And I feel like you've taken the ownership to change or to remove yourself, because the Eight of Swords can also indicate that you feel somehow that you don't fit in, or you've been disassociated, almost in fight or flight mode, because this is a challenging card. And this could have stemmed from something that occurred in the world a couple of years ago, for example, and you're just trying to like find your way back to some sort of rhythm. Okay, you may have felt that everything's different, people are different, society is different, even though somehow it's the same. Something feels off here, because the foundation card is the Four of Pentacles, when everything feels stable and right. But then it's in the resistance position, in this crossing position here, and it feels like something's off, or something doesn't fit, or it feels things are unstable, and you always feel like you're in this fight or flight mode. Like, what next on the bingo of life? So that Nine of Swords is kind of making you feel a little bit anxious sometimes, or, you know, extra sensory in a way where you preempt everything as a threat. Okay, if you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, there is a figure who is bolt upright in bed and is haunted by thoughts. They are going through something very challenging and they are completely bereft. So this can indicate that you feel a loss of self in some way, that one day you just woke up and looked in the mirror and thought everything's different. Okay, and this could be something you are going through on a physical level, because that Four of Pentacles there. For some of you, it could be as you mature, you're noticing things in your body that are changing or different in some way, and you're trying to reconcile that within yourself. You know, as we mature, I got to give it to you straight. We'll go through many different cycles. We'll celebrate ourselves, then we will actually kind of lament our old self. We'll go through like a bereavement of how our body changes or shifts in some way, and then suddenly we're celebrating ourselves again. We go through cycles. So a lot of you, this could be something personal, okay, as you notice, as you evolve, and it could be something body related, but also I feel this could be that you feel a little bit like you've lost touch with a part of yourself, or you feel that the connections are different. This could be that you've been outgrowing friendships, or you've felt that people have changed and you want things to go back in some way to the way that they were. But do you? I feel some of you are seeing through certain patterns. You know, to have an Eight of Swords and a Nine of Swords, it can be that you're breaking free from an illusion. If you were always the person who was showing up in a friendship and you really happy to be in that friendship and you gave your all, and then you stood back and thought, hang on a minute, I'm always the person traveling like miles to come and see you and being there for you. There was only that one time where I really needed you, but you weren't there. Okay, I understand you couldn't be there, but actually, you start thinking. So some of you may have been experiencing something like that right now, and it's just put you really out of rhythm of your life, or out of sorts in some way, okay? That Nine of Swords, it can indicate something that is very true for everybody on this planet. There's always going to be something to fear. There's always going to be something to be anxious about. There's always going to be something that will try and trigger worry or anxiety within you. But do not allow it to rob you of joy. Okay? Nine of Swords as a presiding energy can indicate that worry can be ever present. Concern can always be ever present. You know, we can walk this journey of life and love and friendship and togetherness and unity, but there's always going to be forces outside of our control that try to control or try to, you know, provoke fear. And it's about living freely. Nine of Swords and an Eight of Swords is to feel trapped within those thoughts or those anxieties. Eight of Cups is saying, no, not about it. No, you're not going to control me. I can't do this. So this is you perhaps even moving away from anything that tries to control you, tries to stifle you, limit you in some way, or even make you feel fear. Removing yourself from the drama can be everything. It can be friendships that have caused a lot of trouble, can be news articles, mainstream news. I don't think anybody really watches that anymore, but it can be anything that triggers fear within you, because this is having an actual response within your body. Every time we even read a slogan that says, oh my gosh, the world is ending in like 30 seconds, suddenly our body goes into a, oh, okay, it's probably not true, but you had a spike of cortisol. You had, a knee-jerk reaction, a trigger point within your body that has now etched itself into your pain body. Okay, so a lot of you are just being more mindful about the things that you witness or watch or read, because Eight of Swords, it can be like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know. Okay. Not that you don't care. I feel there is this energy that you've cared so much to the point where you feel a little bit shut down right now because it's overwhelming. You cannot. So I feel a lot of you are bringing it back to your center to focus on your personal projects, to focus on you and that missing ingredient in your life. Again, not as a selfish measure. There's absolutely no selfish cards here, but I feel it's a self-preservation mode. Eight of Swords can be unlocking myself off because right now I feel that everything outside of this is just overwhelming. I need to lock down and really work out where I'm headed, what I need, and to protect my inner peace, my inner sanctuary. Okay, so I definitely see that happening here for you as well. A lot of you may be going through a period of seeking out mindfulness practices, meditation, yoga, Pilates, apps like Calm. I'm not here to, advertise anything, so I want you to be aware of that. But these tools can be utilized in order to ground yourself and bring yourself back to your center, because that Four of Pentacles is to be grounded, to feel secure and connected to the earth. And I feel a lot of you are trying to do that right now. Okay. Now, the Two of Pentacles, as I said, you're halfway there because you got the Two of Pentacles in your near future position, and the Four of Pentacles is the goal, to be grounded and to feel completely stable and secure. So this indicates that you're on the right track. Two of Pentacles also tells me that you are super busy. You are mentally and physically fatigued. A lot of you are exhausted. You're running on empty. Okay, so Eight of Swords, sometimes a slowdown of pace can feel like a restriction. If you feel like things have not been going your way or there's been no movement, the universe has given you a cosmic pause. It is to regroup, to rethink, to reassess, and take stock of everything that has been going on, to give yourself a breath, a moment. So, yes, it will be busy and the world can be won another day, but do not forget to have moments of pause, or do not forget to see the pause as something that is positive. There's always purpose in it. Now, the Two of Pentacles can indicate that, of course, you are on the precipice of making a decision. A lot of you may have felt that you moved around a lot in 2025, even though you may have had a home base, if you're lucky enough to have that, but you may have felt like you're pushed and pulled in many different directions, and you may feel that, right now you're looking at your options to find a more grounded position. Also, this tells me that there will be money available for you, financial commitments in your future, new job opportunities and things like that, practical things that perhaps you may be yearning for right now. But I feel when you have this card, it tells me that a lot of you felt it was time to be really practical. And this practicality kind of like robbed you of the magic or that sparkle within you. So you kind of shut down to a point where you felt like you were on autopilot, just doing what you got to do to get by, and then exhausted and having some sort of cycle of repeat. And you're wondering, is it going to get a little bit more fizzy, interesting, spontaneous? Where's the magic? Some of you, as you've striven to actually limit drama in your life, you may have felt like, has it got dull and boring? So you may be kind of like, it's a double-edged sword to have peace of mind, to protect your inner peace, but also to look at drama as something that used to be exciting, perhaps, or something that made you feel alive. Okay, but I feel the best is yet to come for you, and I feel like you're maturing, but also wanting different things in your world. And with that Two of Pentacles, I feel there is a real energy here of you kind of like balancing. It's kind of like a balancing act, and committing to things that, of course, bring you joy, but also making sure that you share your time with fun things, like getting out there and working hard, but also playing hard. You know, having the balance of variety. Variety is literally the spice of life. And with that Two of Pentacles energy, I also feel like there is this duality about you. So you may have been swinging between varying emotions where you felt very stuck in a rut and completely like on autopilot, and then this overwhelming sense of duty that comes with that, especially connected to your goals and dreams, and that may have made you feel anxiety, and it was like this cycle of repeat. But I want you to be aware this cycle of repeat is coming to a close where you find more balance, you feel more grounded, and you are open for more stability in your life. Now we have the Two of Cups. Of course, this card, when you remove it from other people and romance and all of those things, it basically means the things that you commit to that bring you joy and the things that you want to manifest based on your frequency, you attract. This is a magnet card. So this is your advice to yourself in this moment. What would bring you joy? What's fun for you? What will you celebrate if it came into your life? This is a card that highlights falling in love with your life will bring harmony back to your center. And this can also be a desire to meet people who, you know, have an affinity with you, a togetherness, a unity. Some of you could literally be craving unity right now. And I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love. Everything feels really fractured for the last couple of years, and everyone is trying to discover themselves and come back to their center. And it feels like some friendships or even family dynamics felt so fractured that it's like the hot potato, you know, it's like suddenly in order to self-preserve, it's dropped in order to shut down and feel protected. So if you've had a dynamic with somebody based on experiences for the last couple of years, you felt that the relationship was fractured, or you felt the friendship or some dynamic has been turned on its head almost, I feel like there is this collective kind of rediscovering self to find unity and then seek people out that there once was an affinity with, a togetherness, because there is this energy of longing. I got to be honest with you with these cards. There is this sense of longing. So if there is a person, and this may not resonate with all of you, but I have to honor it because it's coming through. If there is a sense of longing for someone that you miss in your life, they're feeling it too. And there is going to be an olive branch in the future, or a coming together in the future. Because what I'm seeing from this card and feeling from it is what you are seeking is seeking you. And that can be also like your projects or your desires, the things that you would love to come into your life. I feel a lot of you, even though you've gone through some really challenging stuff, I feel like you still try to celebrate the moment, and that is so honorable. There is literally a karma boomerang coming back to you because you try to be grateful for everything that you've got right now and celebrate the moment. And a lot of you are trying to be more mindful of the present. I know it's such a cliche, but yes, the present moment, it is literally a gift because it is here you find peace of mind. Taurus, in the past, there is a longing. There is, you know, nostalgia for the past. You cannot go back to the past. It is now an illusion. It happened, yes, it existed, it shaped who you are. It may have defined you in a certain way, but now you're redefining your life and setting yourself free from the past. You're learning from it. That's why you have that Hierophant energy. You're taking the lesson with you, okay? But you're also setting yourself free from the constraints of it. You cannot be Taurus in the future. You will be in the future, but when you get to that future, it'll be the present. So the present moment is all that you have. Today is yours, and it is a gift. So I feel you're honoring that by trying to be more present, and that is really admirable. So that's why I say a lot of you are trying to come back to like mindfulness practices where you come back to your center and really exist in the moment. It's incredible. When you take a moment of pause, what you hear, what you see, what you feel, what you think, it all becomes very, like, I can't even explain it. It's almost like Technicolor, okay? It just feels like different. When you just take a moment and you just be aware of your surroundings, it's almost like you have super senses when you take a moment of pause to really reflect and listen, like, oh, the bird is chirping. Oh, a car just passed by. Oh, there's some sort of ticking in the background there. I'm not sure what that is. There was a knock on the floor. I can hear the hum of the electricity. There is some sort of water cooler thing going off in the distance. When we really come to our center, it just changes everything. And I feel that's something that you're working towards right now, because it will set you free from anxiety and also help you connect to a vibration of things that you desire when you start to reflect on what you want for your future. Thoughts do become things, okay? So in the circumstances outside of yourself, the King of Pentacles, I feel like you were meant to pause in order to rediscover yourself, or rekindle a part of yourself that you feel like you've lost touch with. But also, because the crossing card is the Four of Pentacles, it tells me you've been finding your way home. And the collective have been doing that. For the last year and a half, I've been getting this constant message for the collective that where is home? Where is home? Even if you live at home, home is not just a place, it's a feeling. And with that Eight of Cups there, I feel there is something that you're searching for right now that feels like home. Home within yourself, home within an environment, home within other people, circumstances. So I feel like you are searching for the missing ingredient, and a lot of you are going to find it within yourself. But there are, energies that highlight with the King of Pentacles that you have the ability to attract what you need. But you must value yourself, and also there is an energy here of recognizing that when you feel life has got too serious or too heavy or too duty bound, the Two of Cups is to lean into friendship or lean into support networks if you have them. And if you do not have them, I feel like you are going to find them very, very shortly. In fact, in the next 4 months, I see that you will actually meet a person who becomes your ride or die, your friend for life, okay? And that will be based on you going to some sort of event that excites you, that stretches you in some way, it challenges you in a really great way. It could be that you're training for something, or you're wanting to learn something there, something you're passionate about, or hone skills. And this is where you will meet a friend for life, okay? But the King of Pentacles, as I said, is a Taurian card, and this can indicate that you are like in the hot seat of your life and taking leadership. 2026 is all about you leading, valuing yourself, calculating your next steps, recognizing that you've worked really hard on yourself and life as well, and that you will enjoy the best in life because you've been invested fully. You have knowledge, you have wisdom, and I feel like you're the sort of person who would pay it forward when good stuff comes your way. Well, now that karma boomerang is coming back to you, okay? Now, we do have the Hierophant here. As I said, a lot of this reading tends to be about commitment for you because the Hierophant is also about commitment, okay? It can also be about knowledge and belief in self. So if you've had any doubts about yourself, or if you have to make a decision and you've had some doubts about the path to take, I feel having that quiet moment to really cancel out any distractions, you will find your way. The answer is literally within you. Your inner compass is here, right here. It knows the way. Now, even the most sophisticated GPS system in the whole wide world cannot bring you to where you want to go unless you key in the destination, the address point. So really visualize the sort of thing that you want right now. And as I said, whatever it is, it wants you. So you will lock onto that address, and the GPS system, your natural gut instinct, will take you to where you want to go. But this is a hope and a fear position card, okay? Now, the Hierophant can be an establishment card. So this can indicate that sometimes you have a healthy mistrust in establishing governments that try to rule or pass down knowledge, and you may be doing a lot of questioning or soul searching or searching for the truth, or just not like accepting a truth that is offered to you. You're going seeking. Now, not everybody's going to get that message, but you have these cards. This can be knowledge that is passed down to you by some sort of governing institution, the way it's always been, a structure. But we're currently in a timeline where all the planets are shifting and breaking down old structures. That's just the way it is. You may have noticed it through different elements of society or technology, things like that, even governmental systems. There is a breakdown in infrastructure. Things are being challenged, okay? And you may feel it's time to seek your truth, validate, within yourself. You don't need validation, but it's almost like stand up for what you believe in and kind of like look at your commitments, look at your traditions and things like that right now. You're honoring those things within yourself. But also there is this energy that you worry, perhaps, that certain systems are making you feel limited, or you're worried about the changes in the infrastructures right now and where it will lead to. So it can be that you are, doing a lot of questioning about how it will affect you, your family, or your freedom for some of you, because this is a card of freedom. I mean, I don't know why I'm being given this message, but my guides are giving it to me this way, and I have to honor it. There's someone out there who may be like keeping a close eye on certain structures that are being put in place that may try to limit certain freedoms. Okay, so I feel like you're just keeping abreast of things in the world. But also coming back to you, because this is something outside of yourself, I feel like you're trying to have faith with, what is to come for your future. And I feel, you are protected and directed. I feel like you're conserving your energy. You're doing what is right for you. You're trying to build a life of comfort. You're protecting your investment in friendships and relationships, and you're looking and seeking for reciprocity, because that Two of Cups is reciprocity. It's the give and take between the dynamics of people or situations, and I feel you're not giving to get, but you're giving and then noticing if there is no reciprocal exchange. And the universe, the laws of the universe, there's always an opposite energy. That's why you got that Two of Pentacles. There's always an opposing energy. A negative, there's a positive. Give, there's a take. So I feel like you need to try and rebalance in some area of your life, because you've been giving too much to a situation and you felt out of sync or out of rhythm of your life, and now you're recalibrating. Now, also, the Hierophant, as I said, coming back to your very core, the Hierophant is a structure that has always been this way. It's like, this is the same old thing. It's just a repeat, It's about, if, for example, someone gave you something to learn in parrot fashion, where you're like, okay, I've learned the words. Okay, I've learned the words. Okay, I've learned the words. That's what the Hierophant can be in the upright position. But when it's in a hope and a fear position, you also read the reverse. So it can be that you're looking at your journey right now and going, there's a lot of repetition. I want something original. I want something different. I want, to flip the script, as it were, and you're holding the pen. So I feel a lot of you, you're in search of this missing ingredient or this something different outside of your usual comfort zone or structure. And I feel that you're challenging the way it's always been for you right now. And you feel it's time to break free from something that's been limiting you or making you feel like you've reached a limitation. For some of you, it could be that you feel like you've reached a financial limitation in your job and you want more money. So you're going to smash through that glass ceiling financially. For some of you, it can be that, certain people have the same conversations with you or try to shut you down when you're talking about something and you're like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to change. I've had enough. So it can be that you're drawing a lot of lines in the sand right now. And the more you've driven a line in the sand, you may have felt like, oh, now I've kind of like shut down on everything here. But this is how it was meant to be for this part of your journey, until you erect healthier boundaries and articulate your needs from a healthy place, and whoever you're dealing with learns to evolve and really step up and honor and respect your boundaries, then the two can co-align. But until then, I feel like you're withdrawing your energy to make sure that, you're very discerning about the company that you keep. So I feel with that card as your outcome energy, this is you conserving your energy. Also, this is you like working on abundance. Of course, it can be two people. So a lot of you, it could be you and a bestie, or you and, a family member, solidifying ties and really understanding each other from a different viewpoint. A lot of you, because the Hierophant can also be a marriage card there, some of you may want a high-level commitment. You may want to get married and you feel right now isolated, lonely. You may feel that no matter what you've tried to do, you've put yourself out there, but you can never seem to meet a person that, sparks that chemistry, and you may feel like, am I ever going to meet a person? Am I always going to be wandering alone? Well, the answer is no. You're going to meet the love of your life. And yes, I see the potential for you to get married if that's what you want. That's your prerogative, of course. Not everyone wants marriage, but it is there with that card. And I feel like you are ready. But you must learn the lesson of value as well as the investment lesson as well, that you are a gift and that people should be investing in relationships or situations with you in a reciprocal manner, okay? Actions always speak louder than words. So I feel that's something that perhaps you've been learning as well. Now, a lot of you may also be trying to purchase a home or feel secure in a home. And I see that for your 2026 coming on in there as well. And if you've been having trouble in a marriage or high-level commitment, I see you and your partner really caring about this relationship. There's a lot of love here. Yes, there's a lot of conflict and challenge and drama, and you may feel isolated and alone at times, but I feel this person will step up, and a marriage counselor or someone who can guide, because I feel with that Hierophant, there's guidance there. You and your person can come back together and repair the relationship. So that's something that is there too. But I feel both of you come from very turbulent backgrounds in some way, or there's some sort of conflict that has not been resolved within one of you, or even both of you. And it can like haunt the way that you conduct yourselves in relationships. Sometimes we have, certain trigger points that are learnt behavior. And it can be that both parties withdraw into self when those moments are triggered. And it's about pushing through that and not withdrawing. Having that conversation, having that moment, even though it's a challenging conversation, to say, you know what, I tend to react this way because when I was growing up, this was my household. That's how I learned to deal with things because that's how my parents dealt with things. So it could be a review period where you're like, okay, I need to own my story and unlearn some of the patterns that I have learned so that I can set myself free. So that's coming up there as well. And a lot of you may be just doing that right now for yourself, not just for you and a partner. If you're single, for example, it could be something that you're trying to do for yourself there. There's a lot going on with you, my beautiful Taurians. I feel like you do have a lot on your mind right now. You're trying to do it all, as well as work really hard and show up for yourself and your family and do the right thing. And that's why I feel there's some really great stuff coming for you, especially in 2026 there. Breakthrough and enlightenment, and you've been going through both this year, and that has been a lot, okay? So these are the numbers that you're going to see. I mean, you could have got any card in this deck. 888, that's one of my favorite there, abundance. We've got 57. There's so many different numbers, and you actually got 1111 and 1212. These are back-to-back cards. Very unusual. I shuffle these cards all the time. So the fact that they came out together, again, very unusual. But this could be that you're elevating in frequency. Your first card there is enlightenment. You're seeing life from a different viewpoint, and that means you are transforming. It also means you're elevating in your frequency. You're going to see a lot of 1111 everywhere if you're not already. 1111 is also a soulmate, soul path energy, but it says here, you are walking a path towards enlightenment. That's your Eight of Cups right there. And it says, where you will reach a state of being that transcends the physical realm. As you embark on a journey within, you touch the divine essence of your existence, discovering the realization of your true nature and the truth beyond the veil of illusions and ignorance. I mean, sometimes I get these messages from my guides through the cards and what they mean. Always look up the meanings of the cards when you get a reading from anybody. But sometimes I'm like, where is this reading going? Oh my gosh, we're going down this path and I don't know where, but I trust my guides that they're giving me the message. And then you get a card like this and I'm like, okay, well, that was the message in the whole reading. So there we are. It was the right path reading for you. And then we've got breakthrough. You're about to have a breakthrough. You are on a precipice of change, and I feel that 2026 is your portal to better opportunities, simplicity, and to a lot more peace of mind, okay? And groundedness. This figure is literally sitting in a shell, meditating. But it says here, you are on the cusp of a significant breakthrough in your life after a period of stagnation. Eight of Swords, stagnation. You're feeling stuck in a rut. So it says here, your willingness to grow is all the energy you need at this moment. Set new goals and live them out. Opportunities will come to you effortlessly if you open yourself to growth and new possibilities, and you're here for it. I feel like you really are. So I'm quite excited about your path ahead. Yes, it has been a big old challenging transition to get to this point, but the breakthrough is, I was about to say here, but my guides just said the breakthrough is nigh. So that means it's close. Get ready, okay? So I'm just going to go and get a trinket or a rune for you before I close your reading. Okay, so we have a broomstick. So a lot of you, this is about clearing house, of course, maybe detoxifying, decluttering, clearing out the old to embrace the new. I definitely see that there for you. Cleansing, perhaps. We've also got the turtle. Now the turtle, of course, has its little home on its back to feel secure, but also slow and steady wins the race, okay? And also turtles, because I'm just seeing a sea turtle right now. This is about adapting to your environment, sea and land. So it can be that, you've had to do a lot of adapting this year, but you will find more groundedness in 2026. And finally, we have the dolphins. 2 dolphins together. Dolphins are always symbolic of playfulness, of things being more fun, more synchronistic, more aligned. And there's 2 there, so that can indicate high level commitment, joy in relationships. But also, dolphins are very intelligent. They also have that sonar. Okay, so this could be about you developing your spiritual gifts in stillness, elevating in frequency, and, tapping more into your knowingness as well, which I see you developing more in 2026. But I'll leave it there, my beautiful Taurians. I hope something resonates in this reading for you. So it was very complex, but thank you so much, and love and light.